terms of closures, and now we're still monitoring a rotating supercell thunderstorm that is rolling right into LaGrange, packing with it potential at one point of baseball to grapefruit sized hail. It has been trended down to golf ball size. That is still going to cause major damage. So we can see multiple spots have already dealt with flooding rain as well as hail, and currently we're just going to focus in. Still at it, still waiting and watching. I will tell you, it has been a long, long day. How's everything going? Anyone have any damage to report? I will be honest with you, I've not been able to keep up very well on all of your comments because I kind of equate it to being like a circus animal whenever the severe storms hit, is that, I'm juggling lots of balls in the air at the same time, doing a little Twitter, a little Facebook, a little Instagram, a lot on the air, keeping tabs on a whole bunch of stuff. So I have not yet read all of your comments, but thank you for any pictures, any reports, and all that stuff. And eventually I will hopefully be able to catch up to all of that. And I also want you to be caught up on the latest with the storm. So let's take a look. All right, the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway is, for the first time in a while, we grapefruit sized hail. It has been trended down to golf ball size. That is still going to cause major damage. So I'm trying really hard. Somehow it works on this one. I see the little level that's showing my my audio here, but on the other one it's not. And I will tell you, I used this same program to record a tutorial for one of my coworkers, and I wasn't doing live, so I adjusted some of the settings. And now that I'm doing live, I'm like, ooh, did I mess stuff up? So what I gotta do is find where the audio channel is and hopefully figure this out and copy it over, because it kind of defeats the purpose if you can't even hear me. I've got cameras in here, and I wonder if it's because I had a camera in on the other scene. I'm gonna try one more thing and maybe we'll still have audio here. So let's cross our fingers. Hopefully this will work. Let's try this. Can you? Oh, can you hear this? Can you hear me now? Hello, hello? Seriously? Oh, wait. It's working. You can hear me, right? I can hear me. Okay, it's working. Never mind the fact that you're seeing two of me. I was playing around with some stuff. Again, I was doing a little training and I was messing the windows up. So you just get to see twice of me. And what's weird is I'm not even seeing your comments on here. I literally messed up the Facebook Live format that I had kind of worked really long over trying to get it figured out. So anyway, you know what? The good news is there are no tornado warnings. We're not in a life-threatening situation any longer. And so you guys that are up at 1 a.m. with me just get to help me troubleshoot. I'm even freaked out by the fact that I'm seeing two of myself. That's so funny. But hey, at least the audio is working, right? All right, so I will go ahead and kind of show you what the latest is with the storms, and they are thankfully finally starting to move out and weaken. As far as warnings, the only one that we have in effect currently for the CBS Austin area is this little area in southeast Caldwell County to the east of Luling and to the northwest of the Harwood area. There's a ton of lightning. In fact, let me see if I can do a query just to show you how much lightning there is, just even within this little portion. We'll go ahead and query that. And drum roll, please, 187 lightning strikes. So, I mean, it's electric. Meantime, we're watching as the worst of the storm is actually down to the south. It's this area here that you can see with potential hail that would be right in here between Belmont and Gonzales. However, the storms that are in far southeastern Caldwell County, I'm going to draw this around, this right here, right there, and right there is the only warning that is currently in effect for the CBS Austin area. And I tell you what, it has been a long night, so I am quite ready for this to be done. Fun fact, whenever you see a storm do this where it starts to jut out almost like a bow and arrow, it's called a bow echo, and a bow echo is indicative of wind damage potential. So there could be some damaging wind coming out of this. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and look at the wind velocity to kind of get a feel. So it's pretty obvious here that you can see that we're starting to see some very gusty winds right moving through the Gonzales area. And let me see, I believe earlier it was for potential winds up to 70. The wind's now up to 60 miles per hour. And still the potential of hail that could be severe, but the majority of the worst part of the system is now south of Caldwell County and moving squarely into Gonzales County. Let me go ahead and show you the hail so that you can get a feel for where it is and where it has been. Oh, this is good news for Caldwell County as well. Not so much for Gonzales though. Those bright purples, that is the severe hail. If you're in the blue, it's usually borderline quarter size, but if you're in the purple, that's pretty much a signal that you're getting slammed by the bad stuff that could really ding up your car and all that kind of thing. So there's a little bit of hail that's currently falling through places like northwest of Harwood. And let me see, is there a community in Caldwell County through these areas? Rhodes Lane, FM 13, 86, Harwood Road. This is going to be near Biggs Road. So it looks to me like Harwood and Luling, and there's probably not really a town or city in between the two of those. And the worst of the hail is scooting off toward the south and east. I'm going to zoom out because we got a lot of hail. Hail, yes, we have. Just to show you kind of the big picture of where the storms are now that we're dealing with. So the Gonzales area, severe. Not severe in Bastrop County, but we'll take a closer look at areas southeast of Bastrop, maybe close to the Smithville area where you had some hail earlier and a tornado warning earlier. Now it looks like some sub-severe hail. And then San Antonio, Bexar County has been getting slammed again and again by storms. There's some severe hail on the northwest side of San Antonio. Looks like it's inside 1604, but moving quickly toward the downtown area. Let's look at the hail core that is just to the north and west of Smithville, moving across Bisher State Park area, not too far from Smithville and east of Bastrop. And this is going to be sub-severe, but there could be some hail with this, and it is tracking off toward the north and east. So if it continues on, Sorry, I was like, I'm doing like the gangsta lean here because it's been such a long day, so I'm like leaning back. But every time I realize that in order to properly manipulate the computer, I actually need to like sit up properly, you know. Um, so looks like the worst of the hail is probably going to stay south of Page, going to just barely be north of Smithville, and then move up eventually toward Northrop if it continues on its track. And this is not severe hail. This is sub-severe, but it could be up to about nickel sized. And the green box is a flood advisory. All right, so let's check for more hail. Those of you in Lee County, especially eastern Lee County, east of Lincoln, there is a little hail core showing up at FM 141, FM 180, FM 1697. That's going to be south of Dime Box in far eastern Lee County. The blue color there, sometimes it can be maybe as much as like penny size. A lot of times it's lower than that. Milam County, you are quiet, no hail there. Williamson County, there might be some pea-sized hail, but probably not. This is like a super low-end return that would be near Ronald Reagan and on the west side of Sun City. As you're entering the back entrance, if you will, of Sun City, there might be a little bit of pea-sized hail. Burnett County, quiet. Llano County, nothing going on. Mason County, nothing to see here. Gillespie County, though the storms have moved out, you do still have a flood advisory that's going to expire in 5 minutes for previous rain. As we head into Blanco County, looks like there was a hail maker that pushed near the Twin Sisters area earlier. It has moved out, and so now we're just looking at a residual flood advisory that's in effect until 2 a.m. We head into Travis County, and Travis County, not too bad, looking like the worst of the storms have pushed on. Hays County, those storms over San Marcos were crazy. Luckily, your warning has expired. So really, we're just watching a little bit of hail on the southeast edge of Caldwell County. We've got eastern Bastrop County, and we've got easternmost Lee County. That's the hail. Let's go back to looking at the storm reports. This is going to mean a lot of folks tomorrow will be saying, you know, I might call my insurance adjuster to check on the dings on my car and the dings on my roof. Not only that, but did you hear about how many water rescues? There were at least 9 water rescues. And there were at one point 30 cars that were stuck in the water at Duval and 183. This was probably around 9:30ish or so. So it was kind of a big but short flash flood situation. So we can see some of these storm reports. There have been multiple reports of large hail that were in the Fredericksburg area, 1.5 inches in diameter, off near Willow City, 1 inch in diameter, not too far from Marble Falls, 1 inch in diameter, right near Burnett, 1 inch in diameter, and that's quarter sized. In the Austin area, we had flooding reports, in Canyon Lake, where there was a tornado warning, 1.5 inches diameter. In Smithville, 1.8 inches, that's a golf ball sized hail. I mean, so we have had some pretty impressive hail. Okay, so I showed you the storm reports. I'm going to show you the radar. Whoops, as I zoom in closer than I meant to. Yeah, and we're good on the hail. Well, we've already kind of crossed that bridge, so let me go back to the regular radar. So we still have a downpour that is in southern Travis County. Looks like there's not as much lightning as there previously was, but Bluff Springs, Circuit of the Americas, Creedmoor, this is going to be heading toward Elroy and moving eventually towards Cedar Creek and Mustang Ridge. Still a storm, just not anything too terrible. The worst right now over eastern Bastrop County in the Smithville area. Super heavy rain. Some heavy rain again south of Dime Box. There's one little tiny storm that's not severe that is moving into the western side of Sun City. So there, you've got the radar. Now let's take a look at what is yet to come. I like looking at the latest high-res computer models just so we can get an idea of what we've got ahead of us through the overnight. So here's a snapshot. And again, these computer models, they update every hour and they're not necessarily gospel. They just kind of give you some guidance, some idea. It's still freaking me out that I'm saying 2 of myself, by the way. 1:30 in the morning, it's showing a few more showers and storms And essentially what's going on is there's a cold front to our north and west that's stalled, and as long as it hasn't passed through, we have residual boundaries in place that more storms can fire upon, and sometimes they like to train, which is basically redevelop over the same areas and push over the same areas, which gets us into trouble with flood potential. That said, here we see 2 a.m. and there are still a couple of storms possible. We head toward 3 a.m., not totally done yet. And then 4 a.m., still going. 5:30 in the morning, kind of popcorn storms up and down here and there. As we head towards 7 and 8, finally, we're starting to see the storms associated with the actual cold front itself. So here we are, 8:30 in the morning. Unfortunately, if this computer model pans out, there could be some hailers still some strong to severe thunderstorms in the morning. Mason and Llano counties, let's advance through time. Now we're to 10 a.m. and it's looking possible that we could see Blanco County, Gillespie County, Northwest Travis County, Eastern Williamson County, and Milam County. More little hail cores with a broken line of storms ahead of the cold front. And just to give you an idea, we're going to have northerly winds on the backside of the cold front. We'll have southerly winds on the front side of the cold front. So eventually we're basically going to see everything turn to the north and those storms continue to push through. So by around lunchtime, I am hopeful that we will finally see sunshine and be done with storms, at least for a while. But it's worth noting that there are going to be more potential rounds of storms in the extended forecast. I'm not going to share it with you because after midnight, all of the weather maps go willy-nilly because even though I think it's Thursday night, computer thinks it's Friday morning. Go figure. It's not, well, it is 1 a.m. So until I go to bed, it's still Thursday in my world. So anyway, that's the reason that I can't show you the 7-day forecast, because it still has my stuff from Thursday, even though it's actually Friday, if that makes any sense. So anyway, you guys are all caught up. I did not do the typical thing where I stream simultaneously with doing the warnings. I tried to, and for whatever reason, this got stuck. So it didn't work, but in the future, I'm gonna try and work out the kinks. I know the audio with this was a little wonky earlier. I'll play around, I'll fix it up. I'll take one of the two of me out. Probably gonna take the one of me up here off and keep, no, I'll probably take the one of me that's way down low away, and I'll keep the one of me that's up top. Hanson says, thank you. You're so welcome, and Jake, you're welcome too. And I'm going to figure out how to get your comments back up there. I mean, they should be right below me right here, where I can see them on Facebook Live instead of having to glance over to the phone to look and see your comments in there. Either way, we're not done with storms, but at least temporarily, our potential of severe weather is weakening a little bit. Oh, guess what? Just in, National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center has issued its day 1 severe thunderstorm threat. So without further ado, let's see what that is. I'm going to toggle the severe thunderstorm risk map, and this will be for Friday. Let's see what the story is. Oh, there you go. I thought they might have backed up the severe weather threat a little closer to us, and indeed they have not. So this is, I believe, the latest hot off the presses severe thunderstorm threat map for Friday, and it's keeping the severe weather threat toward Houston, Galveston, Lake Charles, Beaumont, Port Arthur, and keeping us out of that threat. So I'll take it. We'll go with that. And I think that's what we'll end on. If you are still up and still wanting that information, the last warning for Caldwell County, I believe, has just expired. Yes, it has. 1:02 a.m. National Weather Service said, bing, 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 canceled. Caldwell County warning done. So officially, we are warning free right now in the CBS Austin area. I'll go to radar one more time just to prove it to you. And the storm's worst and worse down toward the south and east. So that's what we're looking at right now is the worst conditions, Smithville, you know, as far as strong storms. But overall, the trend is a little bit better than it had been earlier when all things were going crazy. All right, you guys stay safe. Thanks as always for checking in. I'm hopeful that I will pass the baton over to Avery Tomasco, and I'm going to head home, get some sleep, because you know what?